Do you ever feel like when you're playing chord progressions like this, it just sounds a little bit too simple? And do you ever just want to kind of color your chords and make them sound beautiful? Well, one of the best ways to do this is with what I call magic chord shapes. These are two very simple chord shapes that you can use on major and minor chords that will instantly make them sound more beautiful like this. So let's go ahead and dive in. All right, there are 4 parts in this lesson. In part 1, I'm going to demonstrate how you can take an ordinary chord progression and play it with your magic chord shapes. In part 2, I'm going to show you how you can build your magic chords on any major or minor chord. In part 3, we're going to practice some chord progressions, and then in part 4, I'm going to teach you a great exercise that you can use to master these chords. Okay, so first things first, we're going to start with a very common chord progression in the key of C major. We basically have C major, then we go to an A minor. This is the 6th chord in the key of C major. And then we're going to drop down to a D minor. That's a 2 chord in the key of C. And then a 4 chord, which is our F major. Okay, very kind of simple chord progression, C, A, D, F. Okay? Now, check this out. I'm going to play the exact same chords, but I'm going to use the magic chord shapes, and it's going to sound totally different. Check it out. Doesn't that sound amazing? And I basically only used 2 chord shapes to play these chords. So that's the next step, is how do we actually build our magic chord shapes? Well, it is a very simple formula, but before I tell you the formula, if you're enjoying this lesson, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. All right, you ready for the major chord formula? It is so simple to play, and here's how we play this magic chord. So we'll start with a regular C major, like this, and here's how you build your magic chord. We're going to take the root note C, we're going to bring it up to the top here, and then you're going to follow this little formula here, 1, 4, 1. So taking that C, we're going to go down 1 note, then we're going to go down 4 notes, so from B, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to go down 1 note. Okay? This is the magic chord shape for a major chord. And so if you put a C on the bottom, and especially if you kind of double it up with a G here, you get a really beautiful C major chord. And it sounds totally different than that, right? Way more colorful. So once again, the formula for a major chord is you take the root of the chord, in this case it's C, you bring it to the top, and then we're going to come down 1 note, we're going to come down 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 more note. So it's a 1, 4, 1 formula, okay? And you can do this on any major chord. For example, let's say you were on an F major chord. This is the 4 chord in the key of C. Well, all you do is you take the root, you put it on the top, and then remember the 1, 4, 1 formula. So you're going to go down 1 note, then you're going to come down 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 note. There's your G. Okay, now let's put that F on the bottom. You could put the 5th there. And you have a beautiful F major chord. Isn't that gorgeous? You can also do this on a G chord. This is a very common chord in the key of C. Well, all you do is you put the root on the top, you come down 1 note, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 note. Okay, 1, 4, 1, you have a very colorful G chord. Okay, so this is the formula on major chords, and I want you to memorize this, 1, 4, 1, and you could take any chord and transform it. Like I could take a normal B flat major chord and play the magic chord on this. I just take the root, put it on the top, I'm going to come down 1 note from the B flat major scale, and then 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 note. And then I could put my B flat on the bottom, and we have a gorgeous B flat major chord. So this is how to build magic chords on major chords. Well, what about minor chords? Well, minor chords have a little bit different formula. The formula for minor chords is 1, 3, 1. So here's a really good example. Let's say you're playing in the key of C major, and you go to a 2 chord. Okay, this is a D minor. Well, how would you create a magic chord shape on this chord? Well, you start with the root, we're going to put it on the top again, so let's put that D up here, and then we're going to come down 1 note, that's our C, we're going to come down 3 notes, 1, 2, 3, and then one note to the F. And now we have our D chord with the magic chord. And isn't that beautiful? Okay, it's totally different from a standard D minor, right? Isn't that gorgeous? And again, it's a very simple chord shape. We're always starting from the top note. We're gonna come down one note, and then in this case, we'll come down 3 notes, and then 1 note. Okay, it's a 1, 3, 1. What about an E minor chord? This is a 3 chord in the key of C. Well, we do the same thing. We'll take that root, we'll put it on the top. We're gonna go 1, 3, 1. So let's come down 1, and then 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 1. Okay? Isn't that gorgeous? This is a much cooler way of playing your E minor chord. Instead of that, okay, way prettier. What about your 6th chord in the key of C, A minor? You can do the same thing here. Instead of playing A minor like that, you put the root on the top. We're gonna go 1, 3, 1. So 1, 1, 2, 3, and then 1. Right, way more beautiful. So this is how you turn minor chords into magic chord shapes, is you start with the root on top and you go 1, 3, 1. All right, next we're gonna practice some common chord progressions with magic chords. But before we do this, if you're enjoying this lesson and you wanna do a deep dive on chords just like this, check out our Chord Extensions course. In this course, I teach you all of the cool notes that you can add to chords like this, how to combine those notes, how to use these chords on songs, and then I show you a bunch of great exercises to practice these chords. All right, so let's talk about a couple very common chord progressions and how to transform them using your magic chords. So here's a chord progression in the key of C major. Okay, so this is like a D minor, E minor, F major to A minor. Okay, it's like a 2, 3, 4, 6 chord progression in the key of C. So how do you make these chords sound more beautiful? Well, all you have to do is apply your magic chord formula to each of these chords. So the first chord, D minor, let's go ahead and play it down here. We're gonna take that root, we're gonna put it on the top, and then remember, this is a 1, 3, 1 formula. So we're gonna go 1 down, 3 down, 1, 2, 3, and then 1 down. There it is. This is the D minor magic chord, and it's way more beautiful than just a simple D minor. Okay? Now for your E minor, your 2nd chord, you can just shift this up a whole step, and there's our E minor magic chord. It's the same idea. There's an E minor, we put the root on the top, we go down 1, 1, 2, 3, and 1. Right? Way more beautiful. F major is a little bit different. How do we play our F major? Isn't that gorgeous? Basically what I'm doing is I'm starting with an F major chord, we put the root on the top, and remember for major chords it's a 1, 4, 1. So let's go down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Isn't that gorgeous? And then our final chord, A minor. How do we play our A minor? That's the chord, okay? Again, it's an A minor. We put the root on the top, and remember it's a 1, 3, 1. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. There's our A minor, okay? So what we did is we took this very ordinary chord progression, and we did like this. Right? Way cooler. Let's try another chord progression. Here's a very common progression in the key of C major. Okay, this is like C major, A minor, F major to G major. Okay, it's like a 1, 6, 4, 5 chord progression. Well, let's transform this chord progression. Check it out. Okay, really cool. So same thing, we're taking our C major, we're gonna put the root on the top, and this is gonna be a 1, 4, 1 formula. So you go 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, okay? Isn't that gorgeous? Way cooler than just an ordinary C. What about our A minor? Okay, well, put the root on top. This is a 1, 3, 1. So 1, 1, 2, 3, and 1. Okay, F major, right? Same thing. Roots on the top. This is a 1, 4, 1. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 down. And then our G chord, it's a major chord. So put the root on the top, we're gonna come down 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. Okay, way cooler. All right, the last thing I want to show you is a really great exercise to master your magic chords. And we're going to practice all of the chords that you will typically see in the key of C major. All right, so it's a really great exercise. Okay, first chord, C major. How do you make this a magic chord? It's going to look like this. Okay, D minor is our second chord. How do we play our magic chord? We're going to play it like this. Really nice. Okay, E minor. We're just going to move this up a whole step. Really beautiful. Next chord, F major. How do we make this a magic chord? Gorgeous. Okay. G major. How do we make this one a magic chord? Really lovely. Okay, and again, you can break these chords down and figure them out with the formula that I taught you earlier. Okay. A minor. How do we play the magic chord? Really beautiful. And then for our final chord, we're not going to go to a B diminished because we don't typically use magic chords on diminished chords. So we're going to go back to our G chord before our final chord. So we're going to play a G chord once again, and then we'll end with our C major chord. All right, let's play this exercise with the included backing track. This lesson comes with a downloadable backing track, and the lesson sheet music you're seeing up here on the top left of the screen is downloadable over at pianowithjonny.com. So I'll put a link to all of that below, and let's go ahead and play this exercise with the backing track. Here it is. Here we go. Hey, thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this lesson, be sure to check out pianowithjonny.com. We have over 1,000 step-by-step lessons for all playing levels where you'll learn your favorite songs, styles, and how to improvise at the piano. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.